I gotta get me a bag, steady type of cash on my bro and that same shit. No, I don't fuck with no lame bitch, can't even fuck on the same shit. I heard your shit in the swag, that shit is so sad, put in work at that basement. I charge you double.
Hello guys, and welcome to the channel, We the Royal Deities. My name is Prince of This. My partner, or I guess you could say friend, because I've known Dark King for a while now, is Democles. You can call him Democles or whatever you want to, but I will call him Dark King because that's his OG name, so I'm more comfortable with that. But yeah, welcome, and I hope you will enjoy my take on this idea of what if Naruto was a true alpha. And before I begin, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can know when our videos are coming out, you know, the basics. But I want to make sure you know that me and Dark King's ways of, well, editing and just doing videos are clearly different. My quality is much lower right now because I am using my phone to record, but I will get actual recording equipment because I'm actually learning to save my money for once. So I will get a PC and new mic and all of that so you guys can have better sound quality, but you will have some background noise in this video. I hope you do not mind. Again, I hope you like my take on this idea. I've had it for a while now, and if you're coming over from my channel or from Dark King's channel, either way I hope you like it. And you know, just join the channel, help us get to 500 real quick, and then we can reach 1k and, you know, get monetized and all that stuff. Alright, let's begin. In this story, instead of being a Namikaze, Minato was a high-ranked Inuzuka member. This means Minato was born as a Leaf member and as such is no longer an outsider like in the original, so he makes a lot of friends very fast. Along with this comes his natural talent, of course, which of course goes more into animosity and his fearlessness and just fierceness as an Inuzuka member, because they're dominated by the kind of, like, you know, canine territory, you know what I mean. And Minato was so dominating that his mere stare could scare his enemies, and along with creating jutsus like the Flying Raijin and the Rasengan, which he still makes, of course, Minato created new jutsus for the Inuzuka clan called Fusion. This jutsu was so powerful that it soon was put as a high-ranked jutsu and was essentially allowed the user to quite essentially fuse with their beast partner, and doing this makes you turn into what is a werewolf, not just a giant creature with two heads, but it condenses all of your abilities together really tightly, and the user is in control of the body, but the combined body gives you like immense power, like so much, and your chakra increases 20-fold. But for this to work, the man and beast must have great chemistry. So soon when Minato meets Kushina, they soon fall in love and have Naruto, and on the day when Madara quote unquote attacked, this made a situation when Naruto had to become a Jinchuriki, and as the scene finishes, Naruto would never be the same. With him is immense amounts of chakra from his mother, and Minato's innate talent for beast jutsu from, well, his father. But for this to work, the man and beast must have great chemistry, and yeah, that kind of sucks. So if you're not good, then you're not good. Soon when Minato meets Kushina, they fall in love and have Naruto on the day when Madara attacked, making this a situation when Naruto had to become a Jinchuriki. But as the ceiling finishes, Naruto would never be the same, as with his immense amount of chakra from his mother and his immense amount of talent that he will have for beast jutsu from Minato, Naruto would develop a Kekkei Genkai, which is only for him, and it will have some ridiculous effects. You know, it would give you werewolf powers, but yeah. So unlike before, Naruto actually has a family in this. He is part of the Inuzuka clan, he is part of a clan, and people actually support him, but some people don't. Obviously, the other villagers still think he's evil or whatever, but the Inuzuka clan understood circumstances that surrounded Naruto because they all knew Minato and Kushina, and like they were pack members, or like they were close, you know, so they're not gonna just throw him out. And they loved Naruto, and while everyone else did not, and that it sucked that they didn't, they thought he was dangerous and all that, the clan didn't really care about that and care more about Naruto. But one thing that everyone could admire about Naruto is that as a shinobi, he was very skilled. Naruto's senses were so insane that he could hear people whispering miles away from him. He could literally smell what you ate for dinner or lunch, and his physical strength was so insane that even without using chakra, he was just very strong. But some thought this was because of the fox, which the Inuzuka clan hated, and they also hated Danzo because he released the news about Naruto being a Jinchuriki. Obviously, only the adults know this, and the kids are oblivious, and they just hate Naruto because their parents have just given them the wrong information about him, and they've created this kind of propaganda around him, and they perpetuated that way of thinking. Now, Naruto is a relatively quiet child. He does not speak unless spoken to and acts nice, but when he fights is when his true side comes out and he gets a bit different. Now, we're going to begin with the 5-year-old Naruto as he is handed his own Ninken by Kiba's mother. Sume would say, "Take good care of him, he's going to be your partner. He's named Sukatsu." A young Naruto then takes his new partner and is amazed at its black fur, saying, "Thank you so much." Sume would then say, "No problem, just take care of him." Naruto then lifts up the dog, and his eyes would then briefly shine red as he says, "Nice to meet you, Sukatsu." The Ninken's eyes would then shine yellow in contrast to his red as it barks in agreement, and Sume sensed something had changed with the creature. He instantly made it docile. Like father, like son, I guess she would think. As Naruto then asks if he can go around with him, and Sume nods, as Naruto then tells Sukatsu to follow him. He then dashes off as the dog tries his best to follow, and as this happens, soon the two find themselves on the Hokage monument. And they're just hanging out there, and Naruto would ask, "So, you like it here?" Sukatsu would then bark, and Naruto instantly understands him, as this is a natural gift of his, that even though he does not realize that he is able to just understand canines in the way that people in the Inuzuka clan cannot. He thinks it's normal, but it's not. And he can also empathize with animals in general, but it's far stronger with canines. And he says that, "I like it here sometimes, but I feel like maybe I don't belong. Maybe that'll change when we make it to the academy, right?" Sukatsu agrees, as Naruto then says they should start training now just for fun, and they start kind of sparring. And as they are, Naruto is starting to slowly reveal his Kekkei Genkai, with his red eyes becoming more and more clear and bright, and he actually discovers some amazing things. But after their training is done, Naruto finds a mark on Sukatsu. Naruto bends down, seeing it was right under his left eye, and the mark took shape of a black swirl. "Did you always have that?" he would ask, as Sukatsu then barks, asking what's wrong, and after hearing about the mark, he whimpers, thinking maybe it looks bad, but Naruto says he makes it work, which makes him happy. "I don't know what it is," Naruto would think, "but I don't feel any hostility, so I guess I'll just ask Aunt Sume later." A few days later, on the day of the academy, Naruto was brought to school by Sume along with Kiba, and he of course brings Sukatsu along. Kiba would then say, "Hey Naruto, just wait, I'm gonna get my own partner soon," and Naruto would say, "I'm looking forward to it." Sume then laughs, saying to be careful, and she says, "By the way, Naruto, I checked out that mark. I'm sorry, I couldn't find anything." "Oh, it's okay," Naruto would say. "I'm just glad it's not hurting him." Kiba then grabs Naruto, pulling him away, saying they're gonna be late, and they would leave, but Sume was still suspicious about the mark. She then disappears, as in the halls the two boys are running, and Naruto would put Sukatsu on his head, and they run into their instructed class. As they arrive, Kiba already starts to get along with people, but no one wants to approach Naruto, and honestly, he kind of expected it deep down. It's just like the other times. They're annoyed by my very presence. Why? Sighing, Naruto then goes and sits down alone up like the stair, up on the higher levels of sitting, I guess you could say. And he sits by himself, as this is when his ears start to pick up every single murmur about him, but luckily he has learned to switch this ability off, and as he does is when Kiba sits by him, asking why he's so down. "Cheer up, man, at least you got Sukatsu." Naruto then pats Sukatsu on the head, saying that is true and thinks that it'll be fine, and then soon comes in Iruka, who introduces himself, and today they simply introduced each other, and when it came to Naruto, he stands up as everyone then looks at him with a weird glare. "The name's Naruto Inuzuka. I'm part Uzumaki, and that's why my hair is red, and this is my friend Sukatsu." Sukatsu then barks, saying hi, to them, and while the girls find the dog cute, they don't want to trust Naruto, and he sits back down as Iruka is impressed he already has a Ninken. He must be quite talented, Iruka thinks. Iruka then introduces himself, and then the rest of the class is told that they'll be learning a little bit about the ninja life, but not that much. They're just going to be doing some exercises, and they're going to go to the training ground. And Iruka says, "We'll be doing a bit of training there. Nothing serious. I want you to show me any noteworthy jutsu you learn. Anybody want to volunteer?" And by the way, they're outside right now. And Naruto then raises his hand, and Iruka picks him out. And as he steps up, Sukatsu would then jump off his head, landing. A few days ago, I learned to make Sukatsu do this by roaring. Everyone is confused by this, as Iruka would say, "What exactly do you mean by roaring? I've never heard of a jutsu like that." Naruto then says to wait, and he'll show them. And he then looks down at Sukatsu as his eyes will go red, and he breathes in, and he roars, which sends a chill down everyone's spine. But in reaction to his roar, Sukatsu's eyes shine yellow as he would then start to shift and get bigger to the shock of everyone. The cracking and the change of his bones can be heard until he is at least 2 feet taller, and he now looks far more intimidating, having a bit more muscle. Wow, that's so cool, the other kids would say. Kiba then asking if he got a hint from his mom how to do it, and Naruto says no, I just did it, and look, he gets super fast, show them. Sukatsu then gets low before then running as he pounces on the school wall and he jumps to the rooftop, I'm gonna say in the blink of an eye, yeah, let's say that. This makes the kids clap while Sasuke acts indifferent, and Iruka is impressed but asks if he can make him come down, and Naruto tells Sukatsu to come down. And he does. As he comes back down, he then shifts back to normal form and climbs up to Naruto's head, being a bit exhausted. However, while the kids are mostly oblivious to how abnormal this is because they just think it's cool, Iruka realizes that this is not normal, as even Minato could not do what he just did, and Minato was a genius. That roar was so powerful, he would think. It's like he was asserting his dominance. It reminds me of the Silver Wolf. Back at the Inuzuka clan a few minutes earlier when Naruto roared, they all had their eyes turn yellow as well, and had this instinct to just run to the academy like they were being pulled, but this feeling quickly disappeared. Hiruzen took notice of this weird phenomenon and started keeping an eye on Naruto and his clan much more. After this, others show what they had learned, but mostly it's nothing because they're just kids, but Sasuke is the only one who can make a decent fireball. As he does, everyone claps, and he instinctively then looks to Naruto, who instead of clapping or paying attention, was actually speaking and messing around with Sukatsu. I don't like him, Sasuke would think. So once school ends and the boys are about to leave, Kiba asks Naruto if he could train him, and Naruto would ask, why me? Kiba would then say, because mom says you're awesome. Also, she says I need to get off my ass and do something. That does sound like your mom. Well, I don't know about the awesome thing, but it's for a friend, sure, I'll help you out. First lesson, speed. Try to follow me home. Naruto then disappears while, of course, having Sukatsu with him, blinding Kiba with dust, and he gets, well, kicked in the face by dust, and Naruto just dashed off, and Kiba runs after him, but he just can't keep up. So when they make it home, some members come to watch this spectacle as Naruto will be training Kiba in hand-to-hand combat. And they start to watch until their little spar is over, and they would say, nice try, Kiba, better luck next time. And Kiba would say, I was so close, how do you do that? As he lays on the ground breathing heavily, Naruto then says it's all just based on instinct. Looks like we have a little genius, huh? The adults will be saying, as the adults then praise Naruto, just as Sume then asks what they did in class, and Kiba sits up saying Naruto did this awesome thing with a roar, and he made Sukatsu transform, and they will be thinking, a roar? Sume will then ask Naruto, did you learn beast mimicry? Naruto then thinks on it saying, not exactly. I kind of actually learned it along with the mimic, but I look a bit different. The adults are surprised he can already use the jutsu and ask for a demonstration of whatever he used, and Naruto humors them. Naruto's eyes then close as he lowers his head and he starts to breathe in and out, focusing, and slowly his bones start to change and a snap is heard as his muscles start to grow and he grows a bit taller. And with the change of his body, Naruto would kind of rip his clothes and he would start just move around to let the process go faster, and his bones start to just go in different places and become denser and stronger. He grows fangs and his normal hands gain claws. His face gets covered with fur, as does his arms. They all gasp as Naruto then gets on all fours and roars, causing the eyes of all of them to turn yellow for some reason. And then they all start transforming, and for a moment they all turn into werewolves. And the other Ninken start to grow more monstrous, getting that particular mark that Sukatsu had, and they all had it in a different place, but it was around the upper torso. Naruto, seeing this, then stops and transforms back, and everyone goes back to normal as well. And he would ask, what just happened? All the clan members feel kind of weird after this, but in a good way, with Kiba then jumping around because he feels so full of energy until he leaps 50 feet into the air to everyone's shock, and as he falls, Sume catches him, saying, what the? Sume then spots the swirling mark on the Ninken around her, and the other adults as well can see this, but Sume is shocked when she sees something and pulls down Kiba's sleeve to see he has the mark. Mom, what's wrong? Kiba would ask, as all the adults get serious, and Sume would say, all of you, we ain't telling nobody what happened here. Got it? Kiba then says, but why? I feel awesome, and I feel really strong. Kiba is then hit on the head, and Sume asks if he got it, and they say yes, as does Kiba, who's kind of crying because Sume is not messing around and they know how scary she can be. And then she lets him down, with Naruto then saying, I didn't know this would happen, but I promise I won't show anyone. The clan then agrees on trying to keep this hidden, and the adults later have a meeting, finding out that they all have the mark specifically somewhere on their upper body. This was weird, but they try to keep it a secret, but it becomes hard to. In the following weeks, a strange phenomenon starts to begin as the Inuzuka clan start to have these weird outbursts when their strength become just monstrous and their chakra levels are rising, and the effects actually are staying permanent. Even the kids and dogs are affected, and so a meeting is soon held with all the clans, Hiruzen and Danzo, and the elders. Sume then asks, "Since when did I get invited to meetings?" Koharu then says to disregard that attitude, making Sume stare her down, and Koharu shuts up out of fear, with Hiruzen then apologizing for calling her over, but he and everyone want to know what exactly is going on. "Indeed," Hiyashi would say, "it's a bit suspicious how strong you've all gotten these past few days." With a smile, Sume then says, "You're jealous, huh? But if you actually do want to know, it's probably because of Naruto. Everyone knows this, but since the birth of my little bro is when we've ever gotten even close to someone having a Kekkei Genkai. Well, I think his son's done it. This makes all the clan leaders and everyone stand on edge, as Danzo would say, are you suggesting the child's ability has increased your strength to such a degree? That shouldn't be possible." Sume then says, "Well, it happened, alright. I'm trying to control myself here, but I'm not used to this strength." She then pulls up her vest showing the mark on her abs, and it is the swirl. And she would say, "This is what we think caused it. Naruto's roar made it happen. Even our Ninken have changed." Inoichi then said that if they wanted, he could check up on Naruto's brain activity so they could see how he's affecting them somehow. And Sume says, "Nah, I don't want to pressure the kid. He doesn't even realize what he's doing. And maybe if a bastard like you wasn't around, he could enjoy things more." She then stares daggers at Danzo, and Homura says it couldn't be helped what happened, making Sume tell him to shut his trap. "You don't get to ruin the life of my nephew and your precious Hokage's son and then act like it was an inconvenience. I don't know how Minato stood by people like you." This makes everyone go quiet as Sume then gets up saying she will follow protocol, but as long as Naruto is not hurting anyone, they will have to stop treating him like a test subject because he might hold a grudge against the village. And there is nothing more powerful than the unbridled rage of a child, especially one that has the QB. She then leaves, which shows us saying this really isn't that big of a deal, and Naruto is clearly just a very talented but lonely kid. I hear it from my son all the time. He sits all alone, only having one child as his companion. Coincidentally, it's Sume's son, and of course his Ninken. Hiruzen then says, Kekkei Genkai, huh? Danzo, you're keeping your nose out of this. If I even see or hear of you interfering, I will not interfere when the Inuzuka clan strikes back. So watch yourself. Danzo then gets up and leaves without saying a word, and Hiruzen gains a bit more of a serious look, as the phenomenon would actually continue, but now the Inuzuka clan have found a balance and now are able to use what they refer to as the shift. And when they stack beast mimicry on top of it, they become even more dog-like and canine-like and more beast-like and gain the body of a ninja dog, but they can still walk and talk like humans. So they look like, have you ever seen wolf beastmen drawn like that, you know, like in anime or manga animated? That's how they look. And this makes them more powerful and a way more powerful force to be reckoned with, and this is of course all because of Naruto, and rumors start to spread about this. Some people who have been blinded by Danzo's propaganda try to say this is a bad thing, but most say it is a blessing in disguise. About the time Kiba gets his own Ninken, a new system is put in place to have Naruto train the kids of the clan to become stronger because things have been changing, so this is actually the clan's chance to become stronger and become more efficient. In a few weeks, when Naruto goes back to school, people stop avoiding him, but he starts to avoid them because he knows they only approach him because they want to see him shift, and it's kind of just become popular to want to see the Inuzuka shift because that shit looks dope. So, back to the story. One day at the academy, the kids were sparring and Naruto was put up against Sasuke and he could not use Sukatsu, but he was fine with that. "Alright, play safe you two," Yurika would say, as Naruto and Sasuke then nod and they hear cheers for both of them, but Naruto was more focused on the barking of Sukatsu and the cheers of Kiba, as they are his actually only friends. And when they're told to begin, Sasuke rushes at Naruto, who stays still, as when Sasuke tried to punch him, he is backhanded and is thrown out of the ring as he slams into a wall. Everyone is left wide-eyed as Iruka then asks Sasuke if he was okay, and he says he was fine, but his face was really bruised, and they would just be saying, like the kids would be saying, "Wow, Naruto is so strong." Naruto then apologized with Sasuke getting pretty petty about it, but Iruka said they had to do the unison sign anyway. As they come up, they're about to do the unison sign, but for a moment Sasuke freezes just out of pride, but then he goes along with it and they do the sign. "I hope we can fight again." Sasuke then says whatever, and then he leaves the ring, with Kiba then saying that was awesome and he wanted to fight Naruto next. So Iruka allowed it, and as he steps in, Kiba would then growl as he grows fangs and shifts into a werewolf, making everyone be wowed. This time I'm finally gonna get you, Naruto-senpai, he would say, as Naruto says he can try, and Kiba gets on all fours and runs, appearing right behind Naruto with a claw strike, but Naruto turns and grabs his arm, stopping him. Then he would throw him over his head before then slamming him down on his back, making the ground crack and everyone is shocked by the impact. But as Naruto lets go of Kiba, he still gets back up like it was nothing, and Kiba would say, "Oh, come on, you didn't even shift." "Sorry, I don't really need to shift. I can use the strength that I can use in shifted form in my base form." Kiba then gives up, saying he would not win today, and he goes back to normal, as Yuka then asked if anyone else wanted to try their luck, and they all shook their heads. Eventually, when school ends, Naruto goes off to his own personal training grounds, where he takes what the clan now calls the beast form, and as he transforms into it, he roars and uses it to make Sukatsu turn into a beast clone just by the command of his roar, but his eyes are flaring yellow, and he's just a complete copy of Naruto. And Naruto would say, "Good boy." Sukatsu then gets on all fours because it's more natural for him, and he barks, whereas Naruto then understands as him saying, "This is kind of weird." Naruto then says, "I think so too, but we gotta train hard because everyone's getting stronger. We can't fall behind." Sukatsu then nods and they start training, and we're going to do a time skip. Years and years pass with the Uchiha massacre actually not happening. And when I say years and years, I mean only 2 years, so that's a bit of an exaggeration. But yeah, the massacre will not happen because the Inuzuka clan, with their rise in power, built up a case against Danzo, and he did try to be manipulative and all, but he could not stand the pure bloodlust and power of the new empowered clan. And on a certain day, when he calls Shisui over, something interesting happens. "Get him," Danzo would say, as Shisui is about to be attacked, when he and everyone would then hear ruffling, and out walks Naruto at the ripe age of 7, and the Anbu freeze in their tracks. "I thought I smelled something fishy." Danzo then turns, saying that this is none of his business, only for Naruto to roar as his eyes go red, and Danzo falls to his knees shaking, and Naruto walks up saying, "When will you stop, Danzo?" Naruto then looks to Shisui, who is clearly being weakened while being attacked, and he smiles at him before then transforming to the horror of his enemies, and then he says in a raspy and terrifying voice, "Get out of here." The Anbu then run away and disappear, as this is when Naruto looks at Danzo and he smells something, and he would then hold him up by the neck before then ripping off his sleeve to reveal his Sharingan filled arm, to the shock of Shisui. "How could you?" Shisui would say, as Naruto would say, "My thoughts exactly." Naruto then roars again, making Danzo pass out, and then Naruto drops him before then going back to normal, and he chuckled, saying, "Sorry it took so long, but don't worry, senpai, we got some evidence." Shisui would then fall to his knees thinking, "So this is the power of the Inuzuka clan." Naruto then roars into the air and outrun out some Inuzuka clan members, and when they see Danzo's arm, they're pissed. As expected of Danzo, they would say, as Naruto would then ask what about the others. The shinobi then bowed to him, saying that they were bringing Hiruzen and Fugaku over right now, and by the way, another system is put in place, making Naruto the heir of the clan. Sume wasn't really an heir, but she was the leader because she was the strongest, but clearly Naruto is the one who is fit to lead them. But as they say this to Naruto is when Fugaku and Hiruzen arrive and walk over slowly with the Inuzuka clan members making way, and when Fugaku sees this arm and his weakened clan member Shisui, he is enraged. "He really did it," Fugaku would say. "This explains all the disappearances." Hiruzen then says, I know, I was too naive. Don't worry, we will clear your names." Fugaku then looks to Naruto, who then waves at him with his eyes being red, and he then says, "Thank you, young man." Naruto would then say, "No problem, I just didn't want Sasuke being so sad in class. He looks so lonely." "Oh, are you one of my son's friends?" Naruto with an embarrassed look then says no, and Fugaku understands the situation and is rooting for Naruto to become his friend. After this, Danzo is exposed to the public, and they find out about the experiments he's done, and Naruto makes him tell everything using the roar, and as this is all told to the people, this means they owe the Uchiha a huge apology, and when the Uchiha have their name cleared, they are in debt to the Inuzuka clan because they helped them and they have the same hate for Danzo. I mean, no one likes Danzo, even Hiruzen hates him, and they're supposed to be best friends. Like, Danzo is a dick. But point being, this makes the clans much more closer, and offerings and apologies are given to the Uchiha clan, who at first were thinking of leaving, but they said they would only just forgive everything if Danzo was killed. So he is, because Hiruzen was done with his bullshit and he has to stop being soft. Like, Danzo was annoying. So Danzo is killed, and this means the root is done, and his relationship with Orochimaru is cut off, and the new kind of age dawns on the leaf. And the Inuzuka clan and the Uchiha become known as a powerful force. And for the Inuzuka clan, that's a big deal because they haven't been like, they're not weak, but they weren't like a powerful clan, but now they are like considered a big threat. But this means Naruto and Sasuke do get closer, and because of Danzo being revealed as a bad guy, people do not believe what he said about the QB and have started treating Naruto like normal. But some people still have thoughts on him, and well, haters are gonna be haters. You can't do anything about that. Also, they're stupid, but that's besides the point. Over the years, Naruto only gets stronger and stronger, gaining new forms, and this means his pack or clan grew as well. They now had an insane healing factor, insane durability, and could take hits like nobody's business, bro. They have all the powers that, well, werewolves would have, and as for Naruto, he learned to take the pain of people, and people in his pack specifically, and of animals, and his roar and intimidation work on any animal and any human, and he's been developing this new jutsu that will very soon shake the world. And because of his chakra growing and growing, Kurama's control lessens by a lot, allowing Naruto to have decent chakra control. And truth be told, Naruto is like an apex predator, hence the title of this, video, Apex. So being inside him, even Kurama can like feel the power of his presence. So cut to when Konoha 11 is about to graduate. Naruto has only changed in terms of one thing: his natural charisma and also looks. Naruto is still the same kid, but way more enigmatic, I guess you could say. And he exudes confidence and just aspires esteem. And he looks like someone you want to follow. Oh, and I forgot to mention something about the Ninken. They have also become more powerful as well because they're connected to the clan. And specifically, Naruto's Ninken has gotten huge. Sukatsu is like the size of Akamaru in Shippuden in the current timeline. And of course, Kiba has Akamaru now, so that's dope. So when Naruto is in class with Sukatsu, sleeping at his feet, this is when he then hears Iruka's voice. Naruto. Naruto then sits up straight saying, what? Sorry, yeah? Iruka would then say, well, come down, don't you want to graduate? Naruto then stands up saying, oh, my bad. He then goes down the stairs and he is asked to do the clone jutsu, and Naruto does, making an illusion one with ease. He can't do shadow clones, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't need to. And this is when he gains a headband from Mizuki, but as he does, his eyes glow red for a moment and he stares down Mizuki, who gets scared. Oh, sorry about that. Instincts, Naruto would say, and Mizuki says, yeah, I understand. Naruto then takes the headband, with Kiba asking if he could go next, and Iruka said to calm down because he will get his turn. But then Naruto starts to leave, as Sasuke would say, oh, you're cutting class? Yeah, I have a mission with your brother and Shisui. The other kids kind of find this cool, with Naruto then leaving, and he calls for Sukatsu, who would then get up and jump out the window to meet him outside. When Naruto makes it outside, he then jumps on him, and Sukatsu just dashes off, with him saying, well, you're excited. Sukatsu then barks, saying that the class was boring, and Naruto laughs as they then go looking for Shisui and Itachi. Tracking them by scent, Sukatsu soon finds them in a forest, and as they run up, Shisui returns, saying, Naruto. Naruto then gets off Sukatsu as they come near, and Itachi asked if he was tired because he noticed the bags under his eyes, and Naruto would say, just a bit, but nothing good exercise can't fix. So, what are we doing? Itachi would then say, there have been suspicious things happening. My dad is doing what we're doing with you, but with other clan members. Orochimaru's back, isn't he? Naruto would say. And they nod as Naruto then sighs, and he breathes in and closes his eyes, trying to focus on a sense of smell. And as he does, he then asks for something that even has a hint of Orochimaru's scent. And so Shisui gives him a book. But this is from years ago. Sorry, but this is the best we could do, Shisui would say. And Naruto then smells it, saying, it's fine. Follow me. He then disappears into the forest as to follow him along with Sukatsu until they go back to the village actually and appear on a rooftop. Are you sure this is right? Itachi would ask, and Naruto says, shh, look. He then points down at Mizuki, who walks out from testing, and he says that he smelled Orochimaru's scent from Mizuki. He might be planning to do something tonight. Shisui then laughs nervously, saying, I still don't know how you do that. Everyone else can do this too, Naruto would say, but Itachi would say, nope, I think that's just you. So after this, a few hours pass as Naruto would then come to the Uchiha compound, which is now closer to the village, and him and Sasuke are just walking around the streets, with Naruto then asking what the teams were because he missed it, and Sasuke would say, first off, we're in a team together. Good, Naruto would say, as the two would then high five, but Sasuke says, but they didn't really pick a third member yet. Apparently they're taking their time or whatever that means. Naruto would then say, I mean, it's understandable, or abilities need some kind of match. Oh, maybe Hinata, or Ino, just anyone but Sakura. Actually, Ino too, she's always talking about looking good instead of actually being a student. Have you ever seen her study once? Naruto then laughs at this, making Naruto say he's actually being serious, and he says at least, like, Hinata's shy, but she can be strong. She just needs a push. Sasuke would then say, well, it could end up not being a Kunoichi. Then I would want Kiba, or Shino. The two then keep talking about this, and it evolves into talking about training and just what they did, in the past few days. And as night falls, Mizuki is caught by Sume and Fugaku, and they interrogate him with, Ichi, probing his brain before they kill him. The next day, when all the kids are in class, Iruka then says, "Alright, Team 7, we found your final member." All the girls start to cross their fingers hoping to be put in their team, when he then actually says, "Hinata Hyuga will be with you." And they all say, "Dang it!" "Yes!" Naruto would yell, as everyone then looks at him with him asking what's wrong, and this is when Hinata would start blushing. "I just realized," Kyo would say, "an Uchiha, a Hyuga, an Inuzuka, this is like the ultimate team." This makes everyone realize this as well, with Iruka then thinking that's exactly the point, Kiba. I wouldn't be surprised if they even get past Kakashi. After learning this, the three then stay as other senseis come and get other kids until they're actually left alone. And Naruto sparks a talk with Hinata, who at this point is actually pretty close with Naruto because he helps her get through the day. They're not like super close, but they talk. Naruto makes her feel like her troubles just don't exist, and he's very calming, and Tsukatsu is cute and fun to cuddle. Sasuke also comes into the conversation, and they just get along, and when Kakashi comes in, they don't even notice him. Well, Naruto notices him, but he just kind of is diverting his attention to the conversation, and they just keep talking amongst themselves, and Kakashi would then think, finally a team that feels like a team. This is when they actually notice him, and Naruto says hi, with Kakashi then telling them to meet him on the rooftop, and then he poofs. "So that's our teacher? I heard he has a Sharingan despite being a Hatake," Sasuke would say, as the others are surprised to hear this. But then they go to the rooftop where Kakashi asks about their likes and dislikes, hopes, dreams, hobbies, all of that. And Kakashi says, "Let's start from the left." He's then caught off by the bark of Tsukatsu, and Naruto listens to him before then saying he wants to say he's happy to be part of the team. Sorry about that. Kakashi would then say, "You can understand him?" Naruto then nods, with Kakashi thinking that it really is amazing how far the Inuzuka clan has come, and then he allows Naruto to go. Naruto then says, "I love training because it's really fun and I get to find out more about myself. I dislike when people come to me with the wrong type of thought. They're mostly fake. And my dream? Well, I'm going to expand the Inuzuka clan. It's a personal promise to myself and everyone who depends on me." "Well, that would definitely be interesting," Sasuke would say. As Kakashi says, "Indeed, it's good to see such an ambitious kid. How about you, Sasuke?" Sasuke would then say, "I like training too. I just hate when people say that my clan is suspicious. We're the reason why they're safe, and my dad's always helping them out, and they don't even care sometimes. It makes me mad. And if I had a dream, it'd be to become Hokage so I can change their way of thinking." "Hokage, huh?" Kakashi would think. He's dead set on it. He then looks to Hinata, who'd be nervous before then saying, I like hanging out with Naruto because he's fun. So yeah, I guess I like training too. And I don't like how the other members of our clan are treated. We're all family. We shouldn't be so mean to each other. So my dream is to become the head of the clan. So no matter what it takes, I'm going to become stronger." Kakashi would then say, "Not gonna lie, I like you guys." "Then what about you?" Naruto would ask. As Kakashi, however, says that is confidential, and then he stands up saying that tomorrow they had to go meet at the training grounds for testing to become actual Genin. "I have high expectations for you. Don't let me down. Oh, and no breakfast." He then poofs again, and Naruto is tapped by Tsukatsu, who barks as Hinata then asks what he said, and Naruto said that he was saying that Sume said to come back home early. "Sorry guys, I gotta leave." The two then say okay as Naruto then runs away, jumping from rooftop to rooftop with Tsukatsu following, and Sasuke and Hinata go their separate ways because even though they don't mind talking to each other, the Hyuga have become a bit... They have an inferiority complex more towards the Uchiha now than they did before because, well, the Uchiha are strong, but they say that they're stronger, but they want to admit that the Uchiha are just strong, so they don't allow people from the different clan, from the Uchiha to coexist and talk with Uchiha kids, which is kind of stupid, but yeah, what can you do? So the next day, when the three actually go to the training ground, Kakashi is actually waiting for them with a timer at his side with some bentos. "Hello, sensei," Naruto yells as Kakashi says, "I'm not your sensei yet, try to pass this test first." "That's easy," Naruto would say, as his eyes then shine red, with Kakashi then smiling as he stood up explaining the rules, but unfortunately, they cannot all pass, but they do have to fight regardless. "Use whatever you have to," Kakashi would say, as he would then reveal his Sharingan and says, "I need you to come at me with the intent to kill." Sasuke then activates his Tsutomoe, and Hinata activates her Byakugan, where Naruto then getting on all fours and tells Tsukatsu to get ready for battle. "You may begin." Hearing this, Naruto then howls as the sound waves then hit Kakashi, and he puts up his hands as a reflex before he's then blown away with the waves ripping up the ground, and Sasuke runs up shooting a big fireball. A wind and fire combination. Good thinking, Sasuke would think. Kakashi would think, my bad. As Kakashi then substitutes himself and appears far away, and as the jutsus collide, it causes an explosion. However, Sukatsu and Naruto appear in front of him with a twin claw attack, and it rips up his chest. "Do it, Hinata," Naruto would yell, as the two then push off each other with their hands and get out of the way, allowing Hinata to hit Kakashi with the wind palm, and Kakashi is blown away once again. I know just from those attacks, Naruto can beat me, but he's choosing to work with them. I'm impressed, Kakashi would think. As Kakashi slams down, he then looks up to see the four already ready to attack again, and he chuckles, saying, "I've seen all I need. You guys pass." "What?" Hinata would say. As Kakashi would say, "Just take it. You guys work well together." Oh my god. Sasuke then deactivates his Sharingan with Naruto's claws retracting, and he then asks why Kakashi isn't getting up. "I'm frozen, you idiot." "Oh, my bad," Naruto would say. Naruto's eyes then go back to normal, allowing Kakashi to fall back in relief, as he would then say, "So that's the famous peering stare. I don't know why people name it that," Naruto would say, but even I don't know how it works, honestly. Sasuke then says, "Like I said, it's almost like a dojutsu. Anyway, I think we need to bring it to a hospital, right?" Kakashi then says probably and is taken by them, but little did Naruto know this moment would be important very later on. That strike on Kakashi, after being healed, would begin to change him soon. So, after this test, the team starts working together and they work very well together, but then something would happen in the village with a weird thing going through the streets at night, and people start to say that the Inuzuka clan may have a rogue, so a search is put out to find what's going on. Sume and some other clan members would actually track and soon find this thing and would chase it to a forest until they would stop and bring out their flashlights. They all see a werewolf with gray fur, and in this instant, its eyes shine yellow, and the same happens to the other members as they're kind of resonating together, and one of them would say, "Captain, do you see that?" Sumi then notices the mark on his shoulder and nods, saying, "I know, he's one of us. Back away." The other members then do, as Sumi then steps up and roars, causing the wolf to whimper, as they would then shift back to normal, and when he returns to normal, the Inuzuka are shocked to find that it is Kakashi, who himself is confused. What's going on? It's Kakashi? How? And that brings us to the end of part 1. Welcome to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoy. Not gonna lie, I stuttered a lot more. I guess I'm just not used to this platform. I'm trying to get everything perfect, but I know that's not gonna happen. But I will do my best. I hope you guys enjoyed, like I said, and subscribe to We the World Deities and keep them subs coming in. And I will see you in the next video.